Hi, friends. It's Reverend Laurie with Unity of Ocala for today's Love Notes on this chilly January 6th, Friday. Wow, it is cold outside. Not as cold as up north, so I'm not complaining. I actually kind of like a nice chill in the air. It's already starting to warm up a little bit, but it's nice and chilly. I love it. Well, I promised you all that I would keep you posted on my new art venture. I shared with you a few weeks ago that after my husband walked on, I stopped painting. I stopped doing any kind of art. I just couldn't seem to get that creative spark. And I know better than to try to create when I don't have it flowing. It seems it's a struggle. It seems like work, and I just can't get motivated. So I have to wait. And then I started having these dreams, these weird dreams, and I found out that it was about art on skin, tattoo, and body painting. So I enrolled in a tattoo course in Orlando. That's kind of a long story how I found that place. It's actually a healing academy. They also have yoga instructor certification, massage therapy, esthetherapy, all kinds of different classes about healing arts. And I'm learning all about the ancient healing art of tattoo. Never paid attention to it before, ever. I thought it was just a back alley or indigenous way of marking tribesmen, kind of like branding cattle. I don't know. I didn't get it. Starting to understand a lot more. And I never gave tattoo artists their due respect for this art because it is by far the most difficult art I've done. And I've done a lot of art. Oil painting was a struggle in the beginning. Watercolor is still a struggle. It's very unforgiving. Acrylics a little bit easier. Pottery is tough. Stained glass is tough. But tattooing, wow. And I still have yet to do a live person. But clinics start next week where people come in. It's like kind of a hair academy where people come in and get a haircut by a student at a reduced price because you're their practice person. And that's what's happening next week. Luckily, I have a volunteer from my family. Thank you, Lacey. She's going to come in and let me do her. But our instructor is so thorough and he is so insistent on excellence. First, we have to sketch a design in our sketchbooks. We can use an example. He likes us to stick with some classic designs so that he can keep us on task and keep us learning the basics. But say we sketch out one of our flowers, or one of my favorite things to paint. So I sketched out a few flowers and we have to sketch them out. And then we have to color them and or shade them. This is just one color, the standard blacks and grays in one color. It's on paper now. This is my oranges, full color, a couple of little different examples. The sparrow, that's for sailors. My daughter might want that. A couple of different ways for the sparrow. More flowers, sunflowers. This is a little bit of a different look. And a classic old school tattoo rose. Then that we have to copy with a special inkjet with a copy ink and transpose our sketch. We have to go over it with a fine marker, every detail line, no shaking, no overextending, connecting all the lines. This guy is a perfectionist. Then we have to print that out on a special paper and then place it onto the fake skin. And then go over it with our first lining. That's what this is. I've done my birds. This is a dove that one of my friends has requested with peace underneath and unity on top. It's going to be a little smaller and in blues. But this is tattooed. This is just black ink. This I started some shading. We have to learn how to do them in blacks and all the shades of black, all the shades of gray. Then we can start adding the color. Ideally, you want 30, 30, 30, 30% black or dark, that's under the color, 30% tone, 30% skin. You don't do a solid, heavy one color. That doesn't allow the tattoo or the skin to breathe. So I've got a few that I'm starting on. the basic rose. These are just tattooed black. First, they were a light blue from the ink from the cartridge. They're starting to color. And here's one of my designs, two of my designs in black and white and shades of gray. That took me all day yesterday to do these two. They're not simple tattoos. And then I'll do my oranges again and this flower in all different kinds of colors. So these we have to have completed. We have to have at least 5 perfect colored, ready to transfer onto the skin designs by next week, because we're starting consultations. So I will be coloring all weekend. But what I'm learning about tattooing: discipline, patience, practice, 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 practice. And since I've been immersed in this world and I've been exploring some of the tattoo studios around the area and talking to people, I found that almost every person I talk to, with the exception of 1 or 2, have a tattoo. And they have it for a very, very specific, holy reason. Everything from a friend of mine who lost her daughter, who has a portrait of her daughter on her left hip, carries her with her everywhere she goes. Lots of friends I know that have their parents' passing date with a cross. A friend, I know a lot of policemen, they have a certain badge. They have the police star, whatever it is that their unit or whatever. And I'm finding out that about 70 to 80% of a population in any given place has a tattoo. When I asked my group at church when we were in class, I've got 5 or 6 folks that want one, that want me to design something for them or have something specifically in mind. So I'm starting to understand it. I still don't have a tattoo, and I will require that I have one. I just think it's important, if I'm going to be giving them, that I get one. So that's one of the many, many, many gifts that I'm learning from my mentor, that he will be able to give me one of his tattoos, and he's an expert. And then we are all going to be required to give ourselves one, so that we know how not to hurt someone, how to do it properly and perfectly. And this guy, my instructor, I've learned so much from him, but he's been doing this for 25 years, and he's mentored a lot of apprentices. He was an apprentice for a very long time, and his work is just beautiful, incredible. And he has learned through years of practice and working with skin types how to create things that blend and flow with the body, with movement, with texture, with different forms, with different parts. It's an incredible world, and I am just excited to be a part of it. I will continue to keep you posted, and I hope all of you are expanding the expectations of yourself. I hope you're all thinking outside of the box about what you want to experience, how you want to challenge yourself, what you want to be. This is actually, if I continue to grow in this art, even though it's part of my art portfolio, it's actually my 5th career in life. I have had, with my art, 5 amazing careers. It seems hard to imagine at my young age, but yeah, I let my friends convince me to drop out of college the first time around. I was 17 or 18, I graduated early, and go to beauty school with a friend of mine. She just was crazy about going to beauty school. I had never wanted to go to beauty school. I never even did, I had no use for any of that. She was so convincing and did not want to go by herself that I went to beauty school with her and loved it. I had the time of my life with those students. Hairdressers are crazy fun people. I didn't stop there. I went on to instructor school. So I taught beauty school for a number of years. When I met my husband, I was still teaching beauty school, and it was a wonderful career. I loved it. But when we got to Florida, there was no reciprocity. So they wanted me to start all the way over from the beginning. I didn't want to do that. I thought at one point I wanted to own a beauty school, but My husband got me into sales and advertising, which I love, and was in the corporate world. That was my second career, hairdressing, corporate world. Then I loved the food business. I left the corporate world to open a cafe and catering business. And I opened it in a health food club, which gave me this opening to this grand experience of working in the canning center and doing the food for health retreats and yoga course recertifications and these wonderful weeks and weekends with these spiritual giants that was extraordinary. My art has been kind of a mainstay, teaching art classes and attending different festivals and doing commission work. So hairdresser, corporate world, the world of food and catering, which was such great fun. I still love to cook. Oh, I taught a lot of cooking classes. My art, which now includes tattoo, and of course ministry. So 5 careers, some overlapped. I may have 5 more, I don't know. I hope you give yourself permission to explore. And if you don't know, I didn't know what had happened to my art. I'm still not really sure. I try not to think too long on it, but trust your dreams. There was something in my dream that propelled me to find kind of the long way around this wonderful place called Inspirit Tattoo Academy in Orlando, where I've met some lifelong friends, a new way to express my creativity, and the spark has definitely been lit again. These ideas for tattoos are just flooding in, and keep me posted if you have any questions or would like to be one of my clients in our clinic. I would love that. I think, let me do a few and then I'll keep you posted. And remember, this Sunday is our sacred white stone ceremony. It's a perfect time when I'm talking about me entering this whole new realm. Maybe it's time that God gives you a new name to write on your stone. So don't miss that. If you can't be with us live in person, we will obviously be on Facebook and YouTube. I'm just going to flip this open and see what I should read as we say goodbye for now on this beautiful crisp Friday. Oh, it's titled, You Must Love. You must love freedom enough to embrace confinement. You must adore the ecstatic enough to integrate the mundane. You must be so inebriated with joy, wow, that you welcome all sorrow. I'm gonna have to think on that. You must be so desirous of wholeness that all your fragments reunite. Oh. You must yearn for home with such a yearning that your exiled pieces may return. You must love transcendence enough to allow the truth that transcendence is inclusive of all prior limitations. Your open heart remembers its brokenness. The blossom does not shun the bud. Wow. The blossom does not shun the bud. What's in you that's budding through? Join us on Sunday. If you're at home, get a white stone ready, white piece of paper, get ready for our meditation. And remember, God loves you. I love you. I will see you soon. Mwah. Have a great weekend.